Hi, I'm Kevin Flinn, and this is
Ristich.
Ristich, and we're here today with John Benedek. And first of all, Mr. Benedek, what is your name, job title, and description of the job that you hold?
Yeah, I work for the athletics department. My job title is director of marketing, and description of the job that I hold, I guess, would be we're responsible for ticket sales and attendance for all of our varsity sporting events, as well as maintaining, building, and preserving the brand of IU Athletics, and then trying to make our sporting events as fun as possible for our fans, so fan experience.
Very cool, very cool. What is your educational background?
I am an IU alum, graduated in 2008 with my bachelor's degree in sport communication. Some of you may be in the same program. I also graduated in 2009 with my master's degree from IU Athletic Administration Sport Management program as well. So I have bachelor's and master's both from IU.
And what led you into or created interest in this type of career?
Big sports fan growing up. It was always an interest, and as a student, the more I learned about the business side of things, the more interested I became. So I did some volunteer work and internships as a student, and then through an internship with the IU Athletics department, just stayed there and worked hard and was able to move up a little bit to my current full-time position.
Awesome.
Can you just describe the work environment at IU Athletics?
Yeah, I think our environment is, we as an athletic department, separate from some pro sports teams especially, but we as an athletic department are really a subset of the university. We're a separate entity in that we operate and fund all of our own stuff like that, but at the same time we're a smaller piece of a larger educational puzzle, if you will. So a lot of what we do is, in mind, kind of become integrated and stay as part of the university. We don't want there to be a split between the two. We want to do as much with academics on campus as we can. So environment-wise, that, and then I think for me in the marketing department, it's just creativity and collaboration that we always have to be on the cutting edge of new trends, and you can't do something. You don't want to be too behind the times. You always want to be doing the new things, what's cool, and with technology these days, it's always changing every year.
Yeah.
What other suppliers, customers, or competitors exist for?
Yeah, for us, I'd say our customers are pretty much anybody that wants to come to a game. That could be really anybody. It doesn't have to be an alum, doesn't have to be a student, doesn't even have to be someone who lives in Bloomington. If there's somebody in the state of Indiana or elsewhere that wants to come to a game or is interested in our product, we consider them a customer or a potential customer. So a lot of what we do is focused to the campus in general, but we have people from all over the country that come to IU basketball and football games. Competitors, I'd say for us, on the field, on the playing field, it's the other schools, the Big Ten rivals, and so on. But for, again, me and the marketing department, we look at it a different way. Our competitors are really just the other entertainment options that people have to spend their money on, or spending their time or money on. So, again, why should you or why should a family of four come to an IU football game instead of going to the movies, or going up to Indy for a game up there, or going to a museum, or something else like that? Why should you spend it with us and not those other entertainment options? So I feel like that is more of our competition than anything else. On the field, yeah, we're competing with Purdue, Michigan, and Ohio State, but in terms of our customers and potential customers, those schools really aren't competition.
What would you say your long-term career goals are in the sports industry?
That's kind of a tough question to answer because I don't necessarily want to set too stringent of goals, and my philosophy behind that is because I don't know what tomorrow may bring. I really like what I'm doing now. I'd love to stay here and move up into a higher part of the administration for the IU Athletics department. At the same time, I don't know what I don't know. I could experience, have a new experience next month that makes me want to transition to professional sports. Or maybe there's something that makes me want to get to a different part of a collegiate athletic department. I don't know what other experiences I'm going to have in the next couple of years that may change my mode of thinking, but I really like what I'm doing so far.
Great mindset to have. What would you say the company goals for IU Athletics would be?
I think as a whole, again, we want to win championships, we want to do it the right way and play by the rules, we want to be integrated with the university. For us, as a marketing department, we want to get as many people to the game as possible, and then once they're there, we want them to have the most fun as possible. So our office does oversee the band, the cheerleaders, the videos on the scoreboard, the promotions, the halftime performers, the giveaway items, all that type of stuff, because we believe if you come to a game and have a really good time, you're going to want to come back, and that really helps in that sales process.
What are your suggestions for current sport marketing students?
Yeah, I know some of this stuff you hear all the time, networking, you really can't overstate how important that is. And a lot of, I think students know networking is important, but maybe they don't know how to network the right way. You will need to get somebody to know you need to get them to like you, and you need to get their trust where they can vouch for you. I feel like in terms of networking, you want to have that good relationship with somebody that when a job opens up, maybe it's somewhere else, that they're willing to put their name on the line because they believe in you. Just having the email address of someone that spoke to your class 6 months ago and then emailing them out of the blue, that's not really networking. There was no relationship ever built there. Getting involved, volunteering, get as much stuff on your resume as possible, but not only that, if you intern at 4 different places, that's 4 different organizations you now have connections to in terms of networking. And maybe you don't have any ambition of working full-time for that minor league baseball team you interned with, but maybe your supervisor in that minor league baseball team moves on to the NBA in a couple of years. You really don't know where different paths lead. And then the last point I'd say would be take the mentality of being a sports business person instead of being a sports fan. Still be a sports fan, but make sure you look at things from a sort of a business perspective. You know, for us, we look at revenue, return on investment, brand awareness, things like that. As a sports fan, you watch a game, you're maybe only concerned with the wins, the losses, the score, the result. But as a sports business person, as a sporting event, you know, look at the fan experience, look at the sponsored elements. If you go to a football or basketball game, how many different sponsored things do you see on the video board, on the billboards, or on the stadium? So sort of have that sort of mentality a little bit, because being a sports business person and a sports fan are very, very different.
And what else do you look for specifically in the people that you hire for at your office?
I think for us, we are fortunate enough to have a strong brand in general, that I feel that when we have open positions and open internships with the IU Athletics Department, we just sort of naturally draw a very qualified pool of candidates. We always have a ton of people that apply for not very many jobs, so we can be picky. So that being said, obviously the education, obviously the grades, obviously the work experience are very important. We're lucky enough to get a lot of candidates with those different criteria met, that for us, we get to be a little bit choosier. So what we really look for, what I really look for in interns is likability. Is this a person I want working for us? Is this a person that I can get along with? Is this a person that's going to fit in well with our other full-time staff? You know, when I supervise this person for the next 6 months, am I going to want to do this? Are we going to get along well? While there's been instances in the past where we've had different people for interns where on paper, candidate A is a little more qualified than the other person, but in the interview, maybe that person comes across as cocky or arrogant or unlikable. Well, I don't want to be supervising that guy for 4 months. So candidate B, who maybe is just as half a notch behind on paper, in their interview, if they're a little bit more likable and friendly, and you can really see them fitting in well, that's a lot more important than you might think.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you for taking your time today to speak to us and kind of answer both of our questions, and we appreciate your input.
Yeah, you're welcome.